Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jeff coming at you with another edition of Mindset Monday. And today I was inspired to get away from the desk and come out here into nature, partially by Spencer, who's been doing his Forest Fridays. I came to Texas about almost 2 years ago, but I did a course on survival, like wilderness survival, when I first got here, and learned a whole bunch of stuff about the native plants and trees and all of that. And one of the things that they recommended to connect to nature more is to find what they call a sitting spot. And so what that means is a place that you come back to over and over again throughout the seasons. So you can just sit there, spend some time, get into nature and notice the differences between the seasons, like what kind of animals are around, what do the trees look like all of that kind of stuff. And so in those trees back there is where my sitting spot has been, although I haven't visited as much as I had intended originally. I want to get back to that. So anyway, that's kind of what's inspired me to come out here away from the desk today, and just to give you a sense of kind of like what my Mondays look like. My Mondays are generally my busiest days, and I chose to do the Mindset Mondays on Mondays on my busiest day. I'm not really sure why I did that, but sometimes it is a struggle to get these out, and I've been consistent now for about 3 months every Monday. So I've only recorded it the day before or at another time a couple of times. Normally it's on Monday, usually fairly off the cuff, not a lot of preparation. I'm doing that to challenge myself and to push the edges of my own comfort zone and how I'm creating content and whatnot. So my Mondays go like I wake up and do a little meditation, breath work, ice bath, eat, and then I drop in and I have one of my mentors and clients does a Facebook Live on Monday mornings that I help run for her. And they do like high performance coaching for CEOs and things like that. And so I help them run their meetings, and that lasts for the first couple of hours of my day. So now we're talking about, it's like noon, and then I take a little break, and at 1 o'clock we have our company meeting, which usually lasts 2 hours at least, sometimes longer. And then that puts me into the afternoon with having to get back to clients, accomplish other tasks that I need to accomplish, and drop Mindset Monday in there somewhere. So today I decided to ride my bike out here and record this video out here. So the things that are on my mind right now are really around playing to your strengths and also procrastination. So the way those things kind of came up for me was, there's certain things that you're naturally going to be good at and gravitate towards, and there's naturally some things that you're not going to be so great at and that you're not going to gravitate towards. And one of those things for me is just, for some reason, taxes is just something I procrastinate. It's just beyond belief, the procrastination and sort of like mental block that I have around filing and paying my taxes. So that's something that I aspire to, and I try to get my quarterly all done every year and get my expenses set up, so then when it comes to the end of the year, I'm all set and I can just start putting it into the documents and get it done and all of that, and it never happens. So this year, no exception. Over the last few weeks, I did do my spreadsheet of expenses and then got it all done, but it came down to it, and it's like, for a financial reason, I decided to get an extension and not pay today when taxes were due. I went ahead and sent in the extension though. So, but that's just kind of like one of those things that I know that's never going to be my strong suit. I know I'm never going to put the attention behind it that it needs to really be able to do it in a way that's going to serve me best. And so I stay in my lane and I let somebody else do that. I get all my expenses together, somebody else does my taxes, and somebody else hands me the sheets, and I'm cool with that. I don't need to be good at everything. I need to play to my strengths. And so that's one thing that I procrastinate on. And so I think that procrastination, is not always a bad thing, especially if you're aware of what you're doing and that it teaches you lessons. Like what I've learned it took me years to realize that. Why am I procrastinating this so much? Am I just lazy? No. Am I not unmotivated? No. It's like, I just don't like to deal with it. It's just something in my brain just doesn't want to deal with it. So delegate, that's how you get ahead, is you delegate the things that you're not good at or you don't want to do. And so I see things around, like posts on different platforms and books and whatnot that say focus on your weakness, focus on your weakness. Well, I think that this is something there's a lot of nuance around. And many years ago, I was exposed to a lot of brain tests and tools and things like that, like the DISC assessment, Colby, and another one was StrengthsFinder by Gallup. And so I got the book by Gallup called StrengthsFinder, and you get a code with the book and you put it into their website and you can take this test, and it tells you like your 5 top strengths out of whatever the number is of how they organize it and whatnot. So in doing that, what they teach you is that if you really want to get ahead, like, focus on your 5 greatest strengths. Don't go focus on your weakness, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Like if you're, I'm never going to be good enough basketball player to be in the NBA. So I have like 0 basketball skills pretty much. So I could go focus on that all day long. I'm never going to be able to compete with anybody, especially, with people who have a lot of experience or who are naturally gifted in that area. And that's why you see some of these people who are great at what they do, like they don't do anything else, and it's like people tend to think that, oh, you have to be good at so many different things. Like I'm naturally good at a number of things because that's just my personality. I'm a generalist, not a specialist, but I still, within that generalist category, have certain things that I'm better at than these other things, right? And so I try to focus on those things and to develop the skills around those things so that I'm not wasting my time becoming really good at something that's unnecessary, really, because I'm never going to be great at it and I can delegate it. So I think the nuance for me, that what I've learned is not ignore your weakness. It's that I think identifying your strengths first and playing to your strengths to a high enough level to where then you can say, okay, well, that weakness, it either matters or it doesn't matter. So why would it matter or not matter? It matters because it matters when it has something to do with something that you want to move forward in your life. Like for example, with the lead gen model, you may not be that great at backlinking, and there may be a time when you need to backlink, like you don't have the resources to outsource it, or you don't know how to outsource it because you don't know how to do it yet, or whatever. So you push your comfort zone of that weakness. You push the edges of your comfort zone of that weakness, but that that's ultimately not going to be something that you're going to focus so much on. You're going to try to be great at it. It's just enough to get to where you need to be. And because it's part of a much bigger skill set that you're trying to develop and implement, that's going to be valuable to you. But if you go focus on something that's completely not related to something that you do have a strength around and something that you want to push forward in your business or in your life, then what's the point? Don't focus on your weakness just so you can get good at something. In other words, if it's not going to push the bigger picture forward, then don't worry about it. Delegate it. Forget about it, right? So that's kind of a nuance that came to me in the sense of, with this whole thing with taxes, and like, I don't need to be good at taxes. I'm never going to be the best. So I'm going to delegate that to somebody else. I'm going to know enough about my tax situation to get all the expenses together and to have a pretty good idea of how my business and my personal taxes work in tandem, and how I can reduce my taxes based on my expenses to my business and things like that. But to actually, get good at putting the numbers, that's my weakness that I don't need to be good at. I don't need that to be a strength. So I'm going to forget about that. So anyway, I think that the download here is to really, I would highly recommend that you get the StrengthsFinder book and take the assessment and let it tell you what your strengths are, read about them, get really in tune with them, figure out areas of your personal and professional life, your personal life and relationships, your business life and your lead gen model and all of that. Figure out where those strengths can play in to certain aspects of that and go deep into those. And then you can start to identify the weaknesses that, well, maybe it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal to become better at this thing, but it's not ever going to be like a super strength or a superpower to you. Delegate it. Get familiar with it and delegate it. So that's my Mindset Monday for today. That's the challenge. Go out there and do it, and look forward to hearing your wins on the call on Wednesday. I'll see you there. Take care. Peace.